Hey, this is Carl, and today we are going to unbox, assemble, and review this custom commissioned Thanos, so stay tuned. Hey YouTube! So like I said, this Thanos is custom commissioned by my favorite studio, and this is the very first piece I pre-ordered from them. Project probably took around 13 months to ship, which is normal if it's custom commissioned. Oh, and the price is $1,150 US. I think everybody most likely know who Thanos is, and no need for more introduction. So let's start the unboxing. Thanos came in one big box, and it weighs around 41 kilograms. Also, this piece came with an art box. Inside the box, we have the usual black foam and straps. So for the first layer, we have the first part of Thanos' blade. And now, we have the second part of Thanos' blade, and this one is the upper part. Next, we have another weapon, Mjolnir. We have the first portrait. We have the right hand switchout without a weapon. We have the infinity gauntlet. We have the bottom part of Mjolnir. We have 4 metallic-like rods, I think. We have the right hand to hold one of the weapons. And we have another right hand to hold the other weapon. We have a broken Captain America shield. Next, we have this cloud of smoke. And we have the second portrait. We have the third portrait. We have a rock. We have another rock, but bigger. We have a muffler, I think. We have the stepboard. We have a twin muffler. And another rock. And the last portrait. Onto the next layer, we have one of the tires. We have the second tire. We have another cloud of smoke. And we have Thanos. And lastly, we have the base, and I got edition number 21 out of the edition size of 40. Now, we can proceed with the assembly. So, we have 26 pieces right here. So, Thanos' feet both has keys on them. So, we align that first at the base, so we can insert him easily. Be careful when sliding him in, because he is quite heavy and might damage something. Next, we insert this cloud of smoke at the back. The peg and keyhole is right below Thanos' right foot. Should slide into place. Next is the other cloud of smoke, and should be on the other side of the bumper. No keyhole this time, but the peg should guide the piece in, and will be attached by magnets. So first, we insert the muffler, or probably part of the exosystem, below Thanos' left foot. Then we insert one of the tires in the peg, next to the pipe thing. Next, we insert the stepboard into the peg on the right side of the base. Then finally, we insert the twin muffler next to the flat tire. There should be a keyhole in there for the muffler to slide in. Next, we insert Cap's shield in the peg on the top of the car. So we insert the biggest rock into the peg on the windshield. Then the small size rock into the peg next to it. Then, the medium size rock into the peg on the top of the hood. Now we can start with Thanos. So Thanos' left hand has a key and magnet which will slide into place easily. The same goes for his right hand. forgot about this other tire, so we insert this one below the smoke. Magnet should snap into place. And lastly, we insert the portrait into the body. Should fit in easily. And voila! Thanos is done. Now we can simply remove the switchouts and use the ones we prefer. There are also these 4 small rods. First is this rod with 2 keys on them, and it will be inserted below Thanos' left foot, near the back door knob. The next 3 is interchangeable, and it's up to you where you wanna insert them. So I inserted this L-type rod below the front doorknob, while this S-type rod I inserted beside the front doorknob. And the last one is a little tricky. It's on the other side of the car, behind the stepboard. Here's a quick assembly of everything. Now we can start the review. So the base is a smashed up military vehicle, most likely a Hummer. So the vehicle is pretty banged up. We can see some parts on the ground, broken windshield glass, and the glass on the doors as well. There's also 2 tires left in the vehicle. Some rocks on top of the car. 2 of them actually broke the windshield. We see Cap's shield penetrating the top of the car. It lacks some details like the wipers and some engine parts on the hood of the car. But overall, sculpt is really good. We can see a lot of damages all throughout the vehicle. So I think the paint can be improved here. The vehicle is just painted with a metallic purple-like color all throughout. No metal-like colors like gray or silver for damaged area. Even the glass on the doors is painted with purple. Oh, and there's also a rusted grille on the front bumper. I wish there were more of this all throughout, and other colors to make it realistic. Also, the windshield doesn't look real, but it's probably the best material they can use to represent glass. I honestly believe that there are stuff that can't be represented well in a statue. One of those stuff is smoke. You get the idea though when you look at it, but it does look good on low light. The sculpt on the tire looks lifelike though, but it needs some dirt to make it more realistic. The rocks are painted okay, as well as the ones at the top of the base, or at the ground. Captain's shield is painted bad. It's actually painted with purple instead of blue, but on the back part it's blue. The base can definitely be improved with a custom paint job. The sculpt is there though. Next we go to Thanos. First we see is Thanos' boots, and it is massive and got tons of textures, kinda like one of those Hermes Gator bags. The details and texture is just amazing. Very nice paint job as well. Next is to his legs, and we can see Thanos' big muscles. This is kinda the style the studio likes, muscles and textures overload. So all the blue parts on Thanos' suit has textures that looks like a hexagon. And they chose a darker blue with his costume. And every time there's a black paint or shadow in the blue areas, it kinda looks like the statue is dusty. Would have preferred if it was painted with a brighter blue, to be honest, to make the piece look brighter because it's really dark. To his torso, we can see the continuity of the muscles. This is a very beefy Thanos. All the gold parts on his armor has battle damages, and it's painted really well. If you look up close, it really does look like it's made out of metal. Sculpt is really fantastic. I wish they could have added more random details on the belt area, kinda like XM. But I think they went with a more comic accurate Thanos here. Next, we go to his right arm. Again, we can see the exaggerated muscles, which I really like by the way. And we can see some wrinkles on the suit and some veins popping out. And to his right forearm, We can see the consistency of the sculpt of his armor as well as the paint since it's just blue with some shadows. And his right hand, we can see similar texture found on his boots, and we can clearly see the fingers are separated well with no molding issues. Next, we use this switch out with Thanos' blade. It has a lot of battle damages all throughout the blade and has more details than the MCU blade. Here's a very quick comparison. They are very similar in form but different in details. The paint does look good, really looks like that it's metal. The molding on the hand is also very clean and has the same texture as his boots have. And lastly, the switch out with the Mjolnir. So it has leather straps at the bottom and it does look like real leather. The handle also kinda looks like leather, but I'm guessing this is supposed to be wood. But the paint is very similar and the bottom area is kinda loose, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's not the one holding the weapon in place. Actually, all of the weight is at the top part of Mjolnir. Like the blade, it has random battle damages all throughout the weapon, and the encryption doesn't seem to be readable at all. I have the Halimao Beta Ray Bill versus Galactus statue, and the encryption on the Mjolnir is very readable on that one. Anyway, I think that's a miss. Paint is also really good, similar to the blade one. Next, we go to his left arm, and we have the Infinity Gauntlet. So the Infinity Gauntlet does light up. You just need to remove it and add some batteries and turn it on. But it's not as bright as you would want it to be. I'm not sure if it needs more LED or needs a more powerful LED, or the gems are too thick for light to pass through. Doesn't really bother me that much since it's turned off all the time anyway. So I think they went with the MCU Infinity Gauntlet here, probably for more details, since the comic version looks like it's just a glove. So here's a quick comparison again. Anyhow, sculpt is amazing and very detailed. But of course, the Iron Studios one is more detailed. The gems are also placed differently, but that doesn't matter. Also, as you can see, the custom Infinity Gauntlet is really bigger than the MCU one. And here's me trying out the LED for the Infinity Gauntlet. Now we can go to Thanos' portraits. So we have the two unmasked portraits. They are pretty the same except for their eyes, which is painted blue and the other one red. And of course, the other one is smirking while the other one is pretty bland. Sculpt is really good though, really captures the character. The paint is also nice, especially the eyes. And here's another comparison of it with the Iron Studios unmasked portrait. So let's go to the mask portraits. Again, both are very similar except for the eyes and the mouth. Both of the portrait looks angry, but the other one is showing his teeth more. So the hexagon texture is consistent in his helm, and the gold parts doesn't seem to have any battle damages. Sculpt is really good and very consistent with the other portraits, but the paint on the teeth I think can be improved. It doesn't look that bad, but it doesn't look good either. I've seen worse, so this is acceptable. Doesn't affect the portrait anyway. The whole statue has a height of about 27 inches, width of about 15 inches, and a depth of 24 inches. So overall, I really love the sculpt. I love the anatomy and digging that very muscular Thanos. Although sometimes it bugs me that his hands are bigger than his head. I did a quick Google and saw that his hands are in fact bigger than his head sometimes. Thanos is an alien anyways, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I love the textures on his boots as well as his gloves. I also love that they added the hexagon patterns all throughout his suit, but the paint is a little disappointing, especially on the base. Besides its flaw, the piece still brings a lot of presence because of its pose and because it's Thanos. I think this is currently the best custom Thanos that is not on a throne, but might soon be replaced by another Thanos by the same studio. I have a Thanos vs Silver Surfer diorama coming and the XM Thanos next year. Might do a comparison in the future. Anyway, that's it for the review. Thanks for watching till the end. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this.